Hey guys, what is going on? Happy whatever day you're listening to this. Welcome to The Camera Adds 10 Pounds. I am your host, Peter Sers, and today I have my first repeat guest, the lovely
Krystle Chats.
Krystle Chats, who is definitely the better dressed of the two of us today.
Why, thank you.
Yes, you. That's actually you and I have very similar skin tone, so I feel like that's a color that looks good on you.
Thank you.
I mean, but also like, I'm sorry for talking about this, Alex, but I feel like we can wear a lot of colors with our skin tone.
Yeah, seriously.
Sorry, dude. Alex is really white, but like, not. I mean, no, there's whiter people than you, but you get it. Krystle was kind enough to be my guest today. I'll just be real. This is a new podcast, and I think I heard, I forget who was talking about it, but it was either a tweet or I think I actually heard it on another podcast. I listened to so many podcasts, and they were like, if you want to know who your real friends are, start a podcast and ask people to be on it. And it's hilarious because I had several people bail out on me for this specific episode for whatever reason. And Krystle was nice enough to, at the last minute, just jump on in. And I was like, yeah, dude, of course I'd love to have you back. I got several people that were talking to me about your episode specifically and about how, I don't know if you guys...
Your girlfriend was super rad about that.
She was.
She quoted the
Yeah.
podcast. She was like, do you want to know the difference between fasting and starving? I was all, damn, girl.
Yeah, it was great. But I had some other people too, and so if you didn't listen to the episode with Krystle was on episode 2, and I believe this will be episode 9 of my podcast. So anyway, you only have to go back a few, but we did kind of talk about how Krystle used to be vegan, and then she is no longer vegan. She now eats meat, and how also she used to be hardcore CrossFit, and then she stopped going because she didn't want to see her ex-boyfriend, kind of, sort of. But then she's going to go back to CrossFit. And we talked about how girls could lift weights and stuff and still be sexy and still look like girls and not be all bulky and look like dudes, which is not a bad thing. But, I know that I'm sorry, I'm rambling on. But I know that a lot of girls fear lifting weights for fear of like getting bulky. And in reality, that's not really the way it works. You have to eat a certain amount of food in order to gain size. Everybody's different, so don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are some exceptions, but if you wanted to just put everything under a blanket, it's not really possible for girls to get bulky, specifically just from lifting weights. Like, there's other factors.
It's a very small percentage.
Yeah, very small. It's just like, when I'm dealing with girls, like some of my clients that are like, I don't want to get bulky, because I don't know if I've kind of touched on it, but I'm a personal trainer during the day when I'm not doing stand-up because we all have jobs that we need to have while we're working our way up. I'm at the point now where I could quit my job and be just a quote-unquote full-time comic, but have very little money. And so I don't want to do that because I like to buy shoes and I also like to buy food and stuff. So I'd rather...
Food is important.
Yeah, food is so important. Not only like just for like survival, obviously we need food to survive, but also just for my energy level, for one's energy level, I feel like I'm someone that, if you've seen me on stage or you've seen me just in life, like I'm kind of someone that's, I'd say, high energy.
Absolutely.
And a lot of it, aside from the fact that I also work out, comes from just the food that I eat. Mm-hmm. When you eat certain foods, you feel better, right? You eat, let's say, Taco Bell, you feel like shit. You eat a green salad, you probably feel pretty good afterwards.
It depends.
It does depend. Sometimes you feel like going to the bathroom afterwards. It's whatever.
I always tell people that food is like gasoline. So you can't just throw diesel gas into, a car that needs super unleaded plus,
Right.
and then It does, and it also takes a while for your body to transition. Because like I remember when I used to be raw vegan, I would always like force people to come to my job because I was a waitress at a raw vegan restaurant,
Right, we talked
and
about that.
everyone would say, "Oh, my stomach, my stomach." It's like, yeah, because you're not used to the food. But I
Right.
guarantee you, but I eat this food every day, and my stomach doesn't hurt because I got acclimated. I got used to
Right,
it.
right.
So that's the difference too, because there is a chance that if you're used to a Taco Bell diet and then you go eat a steak salad, your stomach might be turning a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Because it's like it's detoxifying.
I would
Yeah.
feel like crap if I ate at Taco Bell.
And vice versa. Yeah,
During
absolutely.
during and after. Some
Well,
of it's psychological.
well, I remember the first time I tried the ketogenic diet. I was super to the T ketogenic diet for probably a couple of months, and
Uh-huh.
then I cold turkeyed and I quit and ate some like pizza and I think ice cream, and I literally had the worst hangover of my life. Like I literally couldn't get off of the bed because my
Really?
body went into complete shock and I was sick for a whole day, or I just
Do
couldn't
you
get
ever
up.
get like when you're doing, because ketogenic is pretty much low
High
carb,
fat.
high fat, high protein,
Mhm.
low carb or no carb if you really. But then like you have that meal, because I don't call my diet anything specific. I just generally, if I was gonna classify it, I guess you could call it keto. But like I will not, like I'll eat carbs and stuff. I just normally like for breakfast, for example. Because people ask me this too. What do you eat for breakfast? So you guys want to know what I eat for breakfast? If I'm not working out in the morning, which is most of the time, but it depends. But if I'm not working out, if I'm just going out, like if I'm going to work or just going somewhere, I will have 3 eggs, not egg whites. I eat eggs. I need a little bit of fat. I
I'm
will,
pro yolk too.
yeah, pro yolk is great. I mean, egg whites are fine, but honestly, yolk tastes better, and you actually need those fats too. You need those omegas, and you take a lot of that out if you take. But if you like egg white, that's fine too. But so I eat 3 eggs. I eat 3 slices of turkey bacon, and if they're on sale, I'll put avocado on those eggs because I got my good fat. If they're not on sale, I ain't fucking buying avocados, dude, because avocados are expensive. And then I'll throw some salsa on there, and that's what I have literally every morning if I'm not working out. If I am working out first thing in the morning, then I'll have a bowl of oatmeal. And I just take the scoop, so it's like a half a cup of oatmeal. I'll throw some cinnamon in there. I'll throw some peanut butter, and then I'll go work out. And then I'll have my eggs and stuff that I would normally have in the morning after that. So that's like I'm saying, like my normal breakfast is considered keto because it's just all, protein and fat and so forth. But what were we getting at?
Well, because I was just talking about how you brought this up because I said when I stopped,
Oh,
because
yeah, yeah.
I was doing keto to the T.
Right.
And then you said, well, my diet is keto-ish, but then that's not that's a keto meal.
Right, right.
That's kind of like a person saying, oh, like, just because you eat a vegan meal doesn't mean you're vegan, like, so that thing.
Right.
Yeah, no, I was on the ketogenic diet.
Uh-huh.
I think you were saying you don't classify. You
Oh,
try not
yes,
to classify
Correct.
your diet as
Yeah,
one
because
thing.
because it's not
eat
like
healthy.
it's not. Yeah,
That's
I
it.
just exactly. I don't know how many calories I eat every day.
I don't either.
But because I'm someone that used to really pay attention to, like, I would actually count calories, proteins, fats, like I would log it, which is very beneficial to people. I would say, like, if you're someone who's trying to lose weight or even gain weight for that matter on either side, and you've never actually taken or kept track of it, I would say it is important to just learn that, because learning, like, sometimes, like, I have somebody that their doctor told them they need to eat more, for example.
My Fitness Pal.
Yeah. So you have to, oh yeah, my Fitness Pal is great because let's talk about that and then we'll go back. My Fitness Pal
You take notes too,
has
so you
like
lose your
the
track.
My Fitness Pal is an app that will help you. You can log in the food on there because obviously we're all on our phones, but it has a very unique feature where if you're unsure about something and you scan it, it'll just print it. It'll just tell you what it is. Like if you're buying a package of peanut butter or a package or a jar of peanut butter, or if you're buying steak or just anything that has a UPC code.
And they do it by servings for you.
Yeah, and so you're like, oh, perfect. That's how much that is, and so it's very beneficial. But like I said, I think people will benefit from keeping track of those things, especially if they've never done it before. But then once they learn how to do it, then you get to the point where you're like me, where it's like I don't count those things. If I had to go back every day and be like, oh, I could tell you just because I have that knowledge now, but I don't need to keep track of it because I have that knowledge in my head. But I also just don't think about it because I know what I'm eating.
Yeah.
makes
Well, and you reminded me of something that Alex and I were talking about with the not having to keep track of things, or people who jump on a certain diet or whatever. Like, I think people are under this impression that, oh, like, you know, you eat healthy for a few meals and all of a sudden you're just supposed to like feel automatically like amazing, or like, oh,
Right.
and then people quit easy too. So it's like that helps you, because like you might eat healthy for a couple of days in a row, and then you're like, well, okay, well, this is great. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, either you hit a plateau or you're not seeing the changes that you want. So like if you're actually keeping track of it, you're like, okay, this is what I did differently on this day versus this day. Okay, well, they told me I need to have 1,500 calories, and clearly I only ate 800, or this day I actually ate 3,000.
Right.
And it's just like, if you're just guessing and you don't have any experience,
Right.
like you're not gonna, like, people think, oh, like, it's just, why isn't it working?
It's
like,
the same
well,
thing. It's
yeah.
very similar. I always used to draw parallels with like people with money. You know, people that have, let's say, money problems, or if they're saving money or whatever, they're going to keep track of every dollar they spend because they know, okay, their budget, whatever that is, let's say I can only spend $1,000 a month on this, right? And so they're in their bank account. They're like, well, where's this money? How come I don't have this money? Or how come, you know, oh,
I
I
need
have
to do that.
Yeah, I have extra. I have extra money. And if they keep track of that money, then they know, okay, I spent it on this, I spent it on this, because a lot of times people do underestimate what they take in calorie-wise. So that's why it's important to like at least know, but you know, you don't want to do it to the point. I mean, I say if you've never done it, do it so that you have an idea of what you're putting into your body. And then once you know those things, then don't worry about it. Same thing goes with your money. Keep track of your money, dude. And then you don't have to worry about where it went. Like, oh shit, I forgot. I went to freaking the Nike store and I spent $100 on those shoes that I didn't need, but they look cute. So, but I wanted actually, now that you're in here, I had my notes for you today. I want to talk to you about THC and CBD.
Yes.
Because that's something that for me, I've kind of talked about it a little bit on this podcast, just because I started. Who did I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't remember who I talked about it with, but
Have you had Rachel on yet?
I haven't. She's going to be on in a couple of weeks. Shout out to Wolfie. She's got a very busy schedule now that she's like almost famous. So
Almost famous.
she was just in Forbes.
I saw
Fucking
that.
crazy. So anyway, but she's actually one of the ones that got me into
Cannabis.
like cannabis, CBD at first, and then I've kind of opened up. So okay, so perfect example. I'm someone that grew up Catholic. I don't know, were you Catholic? Yeah. Oh, look at you. You're still Catholic? I mean,
I am.
Yeah.
My family is Catholic, and I'm very open minded. So like
Yeah.
I get what church does for people. So sure, you know, like I was baptized Catholic. I go to Catholic church
Did you
if
make
I
your
need
confirmation?
Yeah.
All right.
I did it all. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. So.
Oh, this is a Virgin Mary, by the way, if you're wondering like what this means. I have a Virgin Mary on my finger.
For those of you not watching, she has a Virgin Mary ring on her finger. So I grew up, you know, super religious. I went to, you know, same thing. I went to my first communion, catechism, confirmation, all those things. But my mom and I used to go to church every Sunday. And, you know, Catholic Church is very big on making you feel guilty for stuff that is cool to do, I feel like.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Like, I'll always remember
Catholic
this.
schoolgirl reputation right here.
Yeah. I remember, this had to be like in high school, we got a pamphlet at church. I used to go to church every Sunday. I was involved in my youth group at church. So I would also go like to youth group, and anyway, there was this pamphlet that they passed out that said, are you a sinner? Like, I was the big header, right? And it just listed all of these things that were sins, and I was just like, okay, cool, I'm totally going to hell. Like, I'm going to go to hell. So, like, I grew up with these preconceived notions of, like, marijuana as being, like, obviously it was super illegal back then, too, but also it was bad, it was a sin, it was this. And so it's like, as I've gotten older, having to get that out of my head, you know, and as I've talked about in this podcast, I just turned 40. Don't clap, dude.
Happy birthday.
All the agents are cringing, and the casting people are like, oh, now we can't put him in this. That's okay. But as I've gotten older, I've not slowed down like my activity level. Like, I'm still working out 5-6 days a week. Obviously, that's why the podcast is what it is. And sometimes I don't listen to my body when, like, I maybe might need to take another day off rather than just take one day off. Or anyway, point being, I got to the point where I was super sore all the time, and not like a sore like I just worked out. It was like my body was just aching. And then Rachel, I had met her. This is a couple years ago. Was like, you should take CBD, and I was like, no, I don't like, because I've also been someone that's been like super proud of the fact
You've never
that
done any other drug, too.
correct. I've never done any other drugs, and I'd never been drunk before, even still to this day. So I was always kind of like proud of the fact that I didn't do quote unquote drugs and whatever. So I was kind of reluctant to do the CBD because I got to the point where I was probably taking.
Damn.
Huh?
All I'm going to say is damn.
I know, crazy, right? So then I started. I got to the point where this is like a couple years ago. I was taking, I'd say at minimum like 3 to 4 Advil every day.
Wow, that's terrible.
It is it's so bad. And I say minimum because sometimes like I would take some in the morning because I was super sore, and then take some later on, and then just from being and not really knowing the bad part about that, even though like I kind of knew, but like I didn't. And then I started reading like all these articles that talked about all the damage it can do to like your stomach lining and stuff, and taking those.
The
I was
worst.
like, oh boy, okay, well, I'm still sore and I'm not going to slow down. So then Rachel suggested CBD. I started doing the oil and even like the topicals as well. And, you know, the topicals initially kind of like when you put like icy hot on something, you know, it's like, it feels better. You get a tingling. I mean, everyone, they're all different. Oh, yeah, there we go. Sacred Biology CBD Muscle Rub. Oh, yeah, it looks great. And
This is CBD too, but it's water now.
oh. Oh, yeah, you
I
had that
knew.
last time. Yeah.
I knew he was
Yeah,
going
well, you're prepared. So I just like if you put an ointment, like I said, a pain relieving ointment, like icy hot or something, like the muscle starts to feel better because of what it does, you know. But over the course of like a few months, I really started noticing that I wasn't having that aching feeling anymore. So I was like, oh, this CBD stuff is great. And then I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Rachel, but she was like, you should do a little bit of THC because it will actually help the CBD work more.
They work as a team.
Right. And I was like, I don't know, man. I just don't, because I still had that thing in my head, like THC is bad. It's a drug, and it's and so those of you guys that follow my stand up, and I kind of talked about it on my podcast. My dad was a big drug user and alcohol user and a lot of just substance abuser. So that was kind of also kind of why I didn't want to kind of get into that stuff. But then
Rightfully so.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm an adult now. So like, I know like I can control certain things, and I'm not going to be like, I really just want to take it to help, enhance the CBD that I'm using. And I have a really, like most comics, I'm sure, I have problems sleeping. Mm-hmm. Like it's hard for me, especially after a show, to fall asleep at a normal hour.
Absolutely. I go to bed at 4 a.m. all the time.
Yeah, see, but I wake up at like
right.
5:30, 6 o'clock every day.
Yeah.
So it's like
dangerous.
That's hard for me to stay up that late. I can do it, but it's just hard. My body starts to get tired, which is also kind of a contributing factor to some of the soreness and some of the inflammation and stuff, just not getting enough sleep, Can
I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Very personal?
Yeah, sure. It's my podcast.
Do you have a lot of sex?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
because for me, I've noticed that like I'm a single. Actually, I'm not single anymore.
Whoa! This is a development. Holy shoot! Wait, really?
Yeah.
Do you guys have titles now?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Look
As
at
of
you.
Yesterday.
Wait, is this? Are we going to talk about this?
You've never heard of him. He's brand new.
Wait, because you just came. We just had dinner. Like you came to my birthday dinner.
Yeah, and I was single.
There was a guy that you were going to go out with, or you had gone out with. Not that guy.
I don't even know who the guy was. I would imagine it was him.
Like a producer or something?
No, not him.
Or a writer or something?
Oh, no, he's gone. One that's two different guys. One was a music producer, gone. One was actually a comedy writer. He's gone. Brand new, went really fast.
So within 2 weeks, basically, you have now a boyfriend.
I have a boyfriend.
Wow, that's great. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Shout out.
Yeah. I do have, my girlfriend's probably going to hate me. Like, my sex drive is higher than hers. Mm-hmm. But like, there's nothing going on, I'd say like almost every day.
The reason why I asked that is because
Yeah.
having had been a single girl and I still live by myself, that when I'm alone, I tend to like be on social media a little bit too long or turn on a
Right.
TV episode that I probably shouldn't be watching, knowing I should just turn the lights. But like when I'm in a relationship, I notice that if we're together and we're like in a healthy relationship, typically we're able together to get into bed, maybe like have sex and just go to sleep together, you know?
Right.
And like that to me has always been kind of a game changer between being in a relationship versus not being in a relationship.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I still have to stay up.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not one of
have to-
those busting
No,
lights
dude.
out
I
dudes?
wish. Like, I mean, my
Wow.
girlfriend's 10 years younger. My girlfriend's
Yeah.
10 years younger than me, and she goes to sleep an hour earlier than I do, or more every night. Like, 'cause
Wow.
she's like, I gotta go to sleep, and she like passes out, and she's
Wow.
asleep, taking a nap when I left the house. Like,
Okay.
she just sleeps a lot more than I do.
I take my sleep very seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't used to, and as I'm getting older, whatever. But point being is that I did start to implement a little bit of THC, and it was like a game changer when it came to like helping me go to sleep.
Okay.
Like, I mean, the first I took I had bought edibles for her, and I was like, you know what, dude, I need help sleeping. Like, I can't keep doing this. Let me just take one. And within like once it set in, dude, I was out, and it was like the best sleep ever. And I was like,
Wow. Can I
Yeah.
talk about that for a little bit
yeah,
though?
yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about the fact that he and this is the power of the church. Is like, so yes, please keep in mind that alcohol is, don't quote my stat, but 100 times worse than
Totally.
marijuana will ever be. I also wanted to respond to you saying that because your dad was an addict, you were like, no, I don't want to do that. That's 100% the right decision because
Yeah.
most addictions are genetics. I have kind of mild like addiction issues in my family as well, and I know for a fact that that's genetics and like
Yeah.
it's just and obviously other reasons. But so you're rightfully so. However, and yes, I will say, and to a certain degree, marijuana can be like, oh, well, if marijuana is that bad, like, no. Marijuana is a plant that, for some odd reason, I don't know if it's because they want, like, Big Pharma was like, no, it's like too helpful and too beneficial.
Right.
Same thing that I was saying about fasting. You
Yeah.
know, you can't prescribe fasting because there's no money. That it is one of those like weird things that these higher ups were like, illegal.
Yeah.
And now they're decriminalizing shrooms, which is
I know
gnarly.
that's a whole. I mean,
That's
I haven't
another-
gone there yet.
Well, and I've done many drugs, and I will say that's sick. That's sick.
Wait, sick?
Like
as
sick in a
in,
good way.
Like
that's
doing
cool.
mushrooms.
I
Go ahead. Go ahead.
For mankind, that's sick. People are about to get better.
Really?
no, yeah.
Yeah, people, you're a better person after you're a better person for 3 months after you take mushrooms.
No
so
way.
it's gonna be good.
Well,
Yeah.
so
Sorry.
and
That's fine. No, that's
so
fine.
what I was saying about what I want to say about CBD and THC is
That was Alex, by the way.
Alex Kahn, in-house producer. So on-air producer.
Yeah.
Air and house. So marijuana should have always been one of those things. Like, so you know, I don't know how well you know this about me, but I'm into all that woo woo like crystals
Yeah.
stuff and like spirituality.
I don't
And
know
it-
anything about them, but like, I know that's something that you're into.
And then
Yeah,
back
yeah.
in the day,
I
that
mean, your
that
name
was
is Krystle, so
it's appropriate. That was one of the whole like things about like witches back in the day and why they were burned, because there used to be this crew of women that might have been single and you would go there, and I don't know if they would read your tarot cards or whatever, or they prescribe like herbs. So that's another thing I'm really into is like Chinese herbs like ashwagandha, reishi, cordyceps, etc.
no idea what you just said.
Right. So they're just these herbs that don't have a psychoactive effect like CBD,
Right.
but they work as a team collectively. It's
Okay.
kind of like one of those things like reishi is you heard of, you had to have heard of reishi. And
I
like,
don't
well,
Maybe.
reishi is starting, but it's probably the one Chinese herb that's becoming like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. I don't, but people, because there's no immediate, like, you have to keep taking it, you know?
Right. What does it do?
It's a mushroom, and it's
Oh.
supposed to be like an adaptogen in the sense like brain. It helps your everything. It helps. It's like CBD. It helps with everything.
There's
Because
all,
see-
like I'm learning that there's like all kinds of like beneficial mushrooms as well. Like different
cordyceps
types
is
of
another mushroom,
mushrooms.
bro. you have got to try cordyceps. It's extremely
Cordyceps.
expensive.
And there's like lion's mane is one, and like there's like all these other mushrooms.
Pearl of so much.
That's crazy.
So if
Uh.
you get the right brand of cordyceps, I swear to you, like, because so apparently what it does is it like I don't know how to explain the science or the biology behind it, but it gets more oxygen into your lungs or something like that. And I remember I was in CrossFit, and my ex and I used to try all kinds of crazy shit. I think I told you about the raw bison liver.
Yeah.
It was just this unity of whatever, and we had to like run. And I remember it might have been the cordyceps and the bison liver. I felt like a superhero.
Really?
I'm talking. I've been a runner my whole life, like, so I've always been able to, like, everyone's always like, oh, you're a runner, because like when they see me like work out, they're like, you can run, like, and I've always that on the cordyceps. My stride opened up a little bit. My breaths got deeper. It was.
Did you say breath?
Breaths. My breasts got bigger, and then my breaths got deeper.
All right.
And it was crazy. But I will say that was also after, like, you know, you have to take it for a while, and they work together. So that's why when Rachel said the THC and the CBD work together, yes, but also you have to remember too, don't just expect to go, oh, I'm going to go out and take a 1-to-1 ratio of CBD and THC, and then all of a sudden, like, magic, instant gratification. No, you know, it is kind of like, it's a trial and error thing too, like with shopping. Like, you have to find the right product. Like, I've never tried that sacred biology thing that I showed you. I don't know. I actually was going to give it to my dad for Father's Day for his shoulder. But that's what I always tell people. It's like, unfortunately, I have spent money. Like, I used to vape CBD. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, the CBD that I've found to be most effective is the tinctures, like where I drop it under my sublingual.
That's what I do. I love it.
Right. So that. So again, I was trying to give you credit for saying, like, you know, I want to get the stigma of pot, like, to just go away.
I want to do that because I mean,
Yes.
it really did, like, my upbringing and my dad really had me like being anti, but it's so beneficial. And like I said, I'm 40 now, and I mean, I'm not trying to brag. I look pretty good. And, but like, I feel like my body, like, I'm not as sore anymore. I don't get, like, even though like I take THC before I go to bed, I don't wake up hungover. Although I will say this, I did try one edible from damn it, it's a Cushy Punch.
Oh, too strong.
Dude, it fucked me up for like 3 days.
Yeah.
So like I stick with
You ate too much. I can school you on that right quick.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want, because like
Okay.
I think that I know what I've learned is there's different strains that work just like I think like different body types or blood types. Your like the diet that you take in, like what kind of diet you should be on, differs based on your body type.
Okay.
I've learned from just everyone that I know in the cannabis industry that the same thing kind of goes with certain strains. Like your body.
We're gonna tag this minute, and we didn't make this clear. I am a glorified weed operator.
Well, I'm assuming they listened to episode 2 when I told them to, because we did talk
Budman
about.
OC.
Yeah.
I am the head of the customer service department for that company.
Krystle works like we talked about it.
Right. It's delivery. We're a delivery company in Orange County, and
Hot chicks deliver weed to your house.
And I don't, unfortunately, anymore. I just literally talk to people about weed on the phone for probably 4 hours a day.
Oh, great.
So okay, let's give you guys a little lesson here. Hybrid indica sativa. Sativa is the daytime high, also known as like a head high. A lot of creative types like to use sativa because it doesn't make you sleepy, and it does get you in your head. And a lot of the times, like, it can even like help you. Like, a lot of people are like, I want to clean my house. Sativa, you know, you can like function on it. Indica in the couch. That's how you get, because it's like when you want to be on couch lock and you just want to sit down, maybe watch some TV, and then eventually just pass out. Nighttime high. Right. Indica, nighttime high. Hybrid mixture. Some hybrids are indica dominant, some are sativa dominant. So that's kind of like, and you'll find some strains that are like sativa dominant. Sometimes they'll be classified as a sativa or a hybrid, just depending on what menu you're looking at. So there's that. Now, edibles, here's your lesson. Typically, gummies are the least potent of edibles.
Okay.
So, but Cushy Punch is the exception to the rule because it's Cushy Punch, and it's a very tiny, like,
so
square,
small. Yeah.
and it's so there's it's dosed correctly. the reason why other gummies, for example, Edipure, wouldn't be a strong, even though it'll say, like, if it says it's 10 milligrams, it's not really a true 10 milligrams because a lot of those are either they're just sprayed with the THC. So you can imagine when they're put in the bag, a lot of it flakes off,
Right.
or it's put into the sugar. That like if it's one of those like gummies that has like sugar on the
and
outside.
Edipures are the ones that have like the California state ones because I've had those too.
Yeah, but those aren't strong.
No, they're not.
So,
But they
yeah.
help. They do help me. I did take them for a while, and they do help me.
Oh,
go
they
to sleep.
work.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, let's say you accidentally ate the whole bag of Edipure. Chances are you're probably only eating like 40, maybe milligrams. It's
okay.
not a true 100 if it
Oh,
says
wow.
100. Well, because of the way it's treated, and that's with most gummies. The strong edibles where you hear all the horror stories from are going to be your chocolates and your baked goods
Interesting.
because it's in the butter or it's in the chocolate and it's all there. It's not flaking off. It's not falling out. You will have some pieces that are stronger than the other, but it's the actual THC butter and or the oil that they're putting in, and it's in there, and it's a true. So if it says 350, you're getting 350,
Oh.
which is why you'll hear people say, I was out for 2 days, and that's not a lie. Like, there have been people who have eaten like 1,000 milligrams and they're just like, they're not back to themselves
Dude, I'm
for a couple
taking
of days.
10 milligrams. And she's talking about like 350 and
I did that the
1,000.
other day.
When you posted a thing, I was like, wait, is that in one bar? And you're like, yeah, it's just one bar. It was like 350. I was like, I would die.
Yeah, I think, and I'm like next level though when it comes to like able to like handle. I've been able to like build up a tolerance after working for this company for a while, and I'm able to like let my brain go there, and just hang. It's funny too because I ate it after work.
How many
and
milligrams?
I probably took about 125.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's a true 125. For my size, that's a lot. And maybe even more. The chances, we could say I was at like 150 even. And it's funny too, because like by the time my other coworkers were leaving, I was safe. I was at home. I was on the couch and she was like, "You all right?" And I was all, "I'm going to be all right." And then they like left. And I remember I was like, I even listened to one of my podcast episodes. I was like, I gotta do it now. This is where I gotta listen, which is really bad because I'm so hard on myself. And I remember playing an episode and I was like, ugh.
I listen to myself, and I've learned this from,
Mm-hmm.
same thing, like listening to my own podcasts. Apparently, I breathe heavily into the microphone,
Mm.
and I don't, and I'm really trying to make a conscious effort to not, but I don't. I've never noticed it, and I think honestly, it's because I do another podcast at my house, and my equipment isn't as good as here in the studio. So maybe it just picks up stuff more. I don't know, but like someone had wrote on my thing from my first one that I did, when it's just me, that it sounded like I was trying to do ASMR, or what's it called?
Yeah.
And I was
Today,
I was like, sorry.
We're gonna talk about
Yeah, it's so weird. But I'm sorry. I'm
marijuana.
trying
Maybe
to
I'll
make.
do that for my next episode.
Oh, dude, they would love that.
We're gonna talk about the healthy gossip.
I just yeah, I'm trying to get better. But
Okay. Yeah, mine were like, I say like, well, like, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, Krystle. Yeah, you get in your head. It's a cool experience. But again, I don't know if I should listen to it while I was high, but I don't recommend doing that. Obviously, I wanted that experience though. I wanted to get edibles high again because the time before that, I was so high off of a chocolate bar that I couldn't get off of my bed to turn my lamp off.
oh wow.
So, and I sleep with a blindfold, so it was
That's-
awesome because I was like, "Am I gonna be able to get up and turn this off?" And in my brain, I was like, "Wow, I can't believe I know how to operate a vehicle. That's so fascinating." I was like, outside of these walls, I could get into a car and drive. Fantastic. It was just like, so that's how high I was. I was just
So
like,
okay,
wow.
so the gummies you say are not as strong as
Not
like
typically.
baked goods.
Which is why I gotta be dangerous because, like, now
Okay.
Cushy Punch, there are some brands out there. Like, if it's a small, little, sneaky looking candy, it's probably a sneak attack.
Yeah,
And-
the Cushy Punch fucked me up, dude.
Yeah.
For like 3 days.
Oh, and then another tip I wanted to tell you is, again, remember it's a trial and error thing because I'm kind of an anomaly when it comes to a lot of edibles too. It doesn't always make me sleepy, or smoking too. Like if I smoke an indica flower, I've never been able. I remember I was hanging out with a guy once and he really wanted to smoke and I was so tired I could barely keep my eyes open and I was like, I just want to let you know if I smoke with you right now, I'm going to be up for a couple of hours. I was so tired where it was just like, I'm just ready to go to sleep. Let's just go to sleep. And he was like, let's smoke. Come on. I was like, well, do you want to have a 2-hour conversation with me? Because not only am I going to have a 2-hour conversation with you, I'm going to be high and I'm going to be asking you questions that are going to make you uncomfortable. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. I knew it. I know myself on THC. Smoked. And then I was just like, do you believe in love? Let's talk about it. Who's the last person that you love? I love love. Yeah, it was just bad. And he was like, oh, I don't know. It's a weird question. And I just know myself. So the point is, trial and error. Unfortunately, like, oh man, you know what my favorite sativa is? Jamaican lamb's bread. And it's Bob Marley's favorite strain. And I remember, I know I got a true lamb's bread because I was in my apartment.
You smoked this. This wasn't.
It was a joint. Yeah, it was a pre-roll. And I looked around my apartment and I was like, the feng shui in here is totally off. I had my friend Matt over and I was like, Matt, let's fix this. Let's fix this. Move this couch here. We're fixing it. And my apartment, when I was done with it, was beautiful.
Are you a feng shui? Like,
I believe in feng shui.
I do too. I just don't know how to do it. So, like, can you look at a room and be like, okay, actually, we should put this here because it's about like how certain
I can
the direction that certain things point.
I haven't been trained on it, but absolutely. Well, it's the same thing as like I remember at my job even. There was this desk that nobody wanted to sit at, and I was like, "Well, look at the lighting." I was like, "It's in a corner," and I was like, "And it's lonely, and it's it's look at it." I was like, "Why would anybody want to sit there?" So I fixed it, like things like that. Like there's certain things that are just misplaced, or people who keep walking by their bed and stubbing their toe, move the fucking bed. Like, oh, I always stub my toe. Well, like maybe if you keep stubbing your toe, it's because it doesn't belong there, because this is clearly the path. This is the walkway. Like, fix it.
Does feng shui have anything, or do like the certain colors in a room have anything to do with the feng shui, or is it about placement of furniture?
I believe it does. Like, I heard you're not really supposed to have blue walls, or like certain things. Or I remember I was hanging out with this guy who had a really like dark like paint, and it felt dark. I was like, I could just feel the drugs that were in this apartment at one point. Like, it was just not a good vibe. And it's funny because that guy actually recently painted his walls white, and I was like, that's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
It's like it's like like you said, oh, this color, it looks nice, And my friends used to always give me shit because I used to only wear blacks and nude colors, and I was like, because my personality is all the colors that you need. That was really my thing. It was just like, I don't need colors. I'm colorful enough. But I get it. They're like, wear more colors, Krystle. You don't wear enough colors. So yes, I believe that colors matter. And
yeah, because on our new place, I've been trying to get like bright things, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like my mood gets improved with like brighter colors, and my creativity is more like I get inspired more when I'm around. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
And because I work in Orange County so much too, I miss my apartment now when I'm not there. I live in the tiniest little studio, and now I finally got it. It took me like almost 2 whole months to get it set up just the way how I wanted it. And I knew it was the tiniest space, and I was like, I'm gonna get this perfect. And it's finally perfect. And when I'm not home, I'm like, I really wish I was at my apartment.
Right.
Because rather than being and in Orange County, I stay in a huge house, and I don't feel home there.
Right.
And I could be like, oh, this house is sick. Like, I don't want to go back to my shitty apartment. It's like, no, I want to be there with my thing. My things are there. It's my bed. It's my scent. It's my everything. And I just love it. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because like I'm still learning about this whole THC thing. Are there certain like strains or types that are better for like bone and joint pain or inflammation?
They say indica for body. Like if you want like body sensation, indica. Or any indica dominant thing. But you can Google. I believe it's on. I can look it up.
We're doing this so people don't have to Google.
Well, I'm going to look it up. Because it's too hard to.
Because I do like most of the ones that I do are indica, and like I said, I supplement it with the CBD, and I do feel like I feel great now.
Leafly.
Leafly.
If you get on Leafly, like, so if you're ever in a cannabis shop and you see a strain, you can get on Leafly and look up the strain, and then it'll at least tell you what it's kind of meant to be. Because like I couldn't memorize every single strain because like there's so many. But once you kind of at least know that indica is better for like a body pain, or like if you do want to go, work on the feng shui in your house, it's a sativa. Then that's kind of like the right direction. And once you at least memorize that part, then you can get into specifics like a Jamaican lamb's bread or a Girl Scout cookies or a Blue Dream.
The names of some of these like strain, like
green crack.
Me up, dude. They crack me up.
Mm-hmm.
My brother grows
Oh,
stuff now too.
and right quick, on a side note, just because something says like lemon haze or strawberry cough doesn't mean it's going to be, because I think some people think that, oh, strawberry cough, like they're getting it mixed with these nicotine companies that taste like cotton candy. It's
Right.
not. So you have to be careful. Like, don't just get a strain because you think it's going to be, because I know a lot of people are vaping THC.
Uh-huh.
Like strawberry cough is a really awesome sativa strain, and it's not like going to taste like strawberry cough syrup or whatever the hell you think it might taste like. It's just a strain of weed.
Okay,
That's another tip.
that's good. Okay,
Sorry.
I like that.
Okay.
So do you recommend it to people like how long you've been smoking for a while? I'm assuming like how long?
I unfortunately, and I don't recommend this. I did start too young. That's the cool thing about you is I feel like people should experiment with drugs after the age of 23 because that's when your brain's fully developed.
That makes sense.
23 or older, that's when your brain's supposed to be fully developed. Because all these kids that are smoking, like when they're teenagers, unfortunately, their brain's not fully developed, so it affects you. Case in point. I did start smoking when I was a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah, like 17.
Okay. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not like super young, but I mean.
But still, like, I
And
mean,
but you started smoking in Texas.
to me, like a lot of like the genius years are from when you are like a teenager all the way up until like, your mid 20s and stuff. And that's when you can really, man, my brain definitely worked a little differently like when I was younger. And unfortunately, that's when I was like, I was really depressed when I was a teenager. So that's probably
well,
why.
that's actually something that I wanted to get into.
Mm-hmm.
That was my next question. So you got into it probably like any other kid, just.
Oh yeah, they were doing it.
escaping.
It was the cool thing to do. And I wish I would have had the information like, hey, like you should not mix alcohol and weed because weed is a medicine. Back in the day, weed was a drug.
Right.
Now you can look at it like a medicine, which is why I don't use weed every day, or I don't use weed. I don't smoke weed or eat weed or whatever, or THC on a daily basis because I do try to, I'm starting to realize it is a medicine. And if you are taking a medicine like Advil every day, well, then there might be a problem. Like, why are you on a medication every day?
Right.
And that's my whole thing. But if it is for insomnia, that's your answer. I
Yeah.
take THC every night because it helps me sleep. Done. My freaking glaucoma, whatever, like, I need the munchies. Done. Okay.
Right.
Hopefully once that's passed, you can go back and that's it. You don't need it anymore.
Okay.
And you were going to ask about like depression and stuff?
Yeah, like because I do feel like at any age for that matter, there's things that people do to escape whatever they're going through mentally, emotionally. And one of the things that I do, and I've talked about this, is like that's one of the reasons why I work out because it does help me deal with that stuff. Because I've always, I can't say always had depression, but like I talked about how. My dad was really, along with being like an addict and stuff, he was really abusive towards me, growing up. So I was always in sports, and that was kind of an escape for me. And then as I got older, our relationship wasn't so good. My mom died, so I started working out. And then as I've gone through, breakups and just life struggles, like it's always like working out always helps me feel better, But I think that other people do things like,
100%.
like smoke marijuana or they drink, unfortunately. Or
I had a point where I was abusing weed where
Okay.
where I stopped because I was like, I remember I realized it was starting to become a problem when it was something simple as like walking my dogs. I was like, oh, might as well spark up a nice sativa right now. And I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
Why when I'm about to be outside in the sun, like beautiful weather,
We live in paradise.
and I didn't need it.
Uh-huh.
And I get it, but okay, it's fun, but why?
Right.
Like to me, kind of like they always talk shit about people who, let's go pop a bottle of champagne at a club, but okay, yes, but with reason.
Right.
So for me, I think that I wanted it to be more like if I'm doing it, I want it to be for a celebration. Like I want to spark up a joint of sativa because I have a friend in town and we're so excited to see each other. Now we're doing it recreationally because, oh yeah, let's go get stoned on the beach together.
Right.
But if I'm doing it where I'm like, to me, it is, if I'm just using it, let's just smoke a joint to go walk my dogs. That's, to me, it is kind of the same thing as like having a glass of wine to walk my dogs.
Okay.
I don't need it.
Okay.
I love myself and I think I'm awesome not I don't think I need to be it's just sativa every day, which is the slippery slope.
Okay.
So I think, yes, there are some people, who use THC and CBD, sleep, depression, because I'm not depressed. Some people, although I will say, if you can find a strain and you're depressed, that's pretty cool. If you can find a strain that you smoke and you're just like a little more giggly and you're like, man, I just feel a little better now, then that's sick. Good for you. You found something.
Better than like prescription, any of the crap
Yeah.
that they recommend to people.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a whole another
Yeah,
can
I
of
know
worms,
it's a whole
too.
other, and I don't know, like, I just know that there's a lot of people on some stuff that is
Can
probably not the best for them, and then
It can kill them.
Yeah, and if they just smoked a little weed or something, then
That
it would be
is-
way more beneficial for them health wise.
I am for anything that you can try one day and the next day be like, okay, I'm good. Like, that's the thing that I hate, and I will use the word hate about certain medications, is because to me, if you're about to put yourself on a medication that could kill you or like absolutely destroy your brain, if you're about to be off of it,
Right.
that can't be good for you.
Uh-huh.
Now, to be the devil's advocate here, I will say we also live in like a homeless city
Oh God. I know.
where,
Yeah.
even just driving up here today, like around the corner, just like I just seeing people.
In the parking lot, dude.
Yeah. And the tents and stuff. It's like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah. So I will say, obviously, some people might, and you just don't know what people have been through. You just really don't. So you
Yeah.
don't know how they got there and what their story is, or if they. I've heard situations where I looked at this. I don't follow them, but I looked at this account on Instagram that has a lot of Skid Row stories. And there was one girl who literally chose to stay on Skid Row versus going back home to her family. So, again, I don't know what your alternative is or if you even have one. But the point is, and unless your brain is so freaking, like those people that are like sitting at the bus stop shaking and talking to themselves and screaming, like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I don't know what that is or how that's treated, and I know there obviously are some medications that can help that with tremors, etc. But if you're not that far gone, this is my point, and it's an antidepressant pill versus a joint, I'm joint all day. Because I've seen what those antidepressant pills do to people, and it destroys lives. I've literally seen my friends lose everything on those medications because one of them like lost her insurance, so she was spending all of her money to like try and stay on the medication, and like she couldn't afford it, and then like it affected her job, and then she lost her job, and now she's like,
Jeez.
back in a city that she doesn't want to be living in, and she lost everything.
Have you ever? I have to ask this because.
Sorry, that's really depressing.
No,
guys.
I know
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. It's okay.
I'm
No, I
sorry.
think it's important because the podcast is the camera at 10 pounds, and I want to like bring in things that will help people. And I could talk about working out all day, but there's there's other things that people can do.
Absolutely.
Like I had a yoga instructor on a few weeks ago, and I had a dancer on, and I had a dad on, and it's just like different people from different walks of life, but. It doesn't have to be just about the gym for self-care. I'm all about, at this point, as I'm getting older, it's not just about working out, it's about other things to help balance my body and help me feel a certain way.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I've now learned that from incorporating that, CBD and THC, I'm not as sore. I sleep easier now, which is great. But like you talked about, I have learned also over the last couple months that I don't need it every single night. Some nights I'm actually just tired and I can fall asleep without it. And so it's like, okay, I know that I don't need it, but it does help me.
To me, if you're taking it every night to sleep, I'm not against that. I'm against people like me who, or who you used to be. I'm taking Advil.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
if you were here as Peter on Advil, I would be like, Peter, you need to figure out something and not take Advil every day.
Yeah, yeah.
You're doing something wrong, buddy.
It was
If
bad.
you're using THC every day to sleep, I am not against that. it's funny because like I even tell people like THC in my opinion is better than like melatonin because like melatonin apparently like if you take it
Yeah, I've heard it.
too much
There's
it,
like some kind of thing. Like Ashton
Yeah.
takes it, and I'm like, nah, dude, I can't. I don't want to fuck around with that.
well oh no apparently yeah it makes your sleeping habits like worse or something like
Yeah.
it helps like and it's not effective after a certain amount of times that you take it too like
It's just like I think it's because our body makes it. You know,
okay
it's
yeah.
just like anything else. Like if you're taking something that your body makes, at some point you have to stop because your body will stop learning how to make, knowing how to make. It's like creatine, for example. People used to take creatine. That was a big. I mean, it's still a good supplement. I can't take it. I mean, I can, but usually I get diarrhea. Sorry. But they would have to cycle it because creatine is something that your body makes, and if you continue to do it, and your body forgets how to make it, and then now you're screwed. So you got to stop taking it for a while. So I think that's kind of what melatonin falls in.
Yeah.
But I've heard other things too. So
Yeah. And so again, just to finish that thought is if you were like who I was when I was thinking like, oh, I guess a little like where I'm taking it for no reason, I'm not for that. Because I know there are some like functioning stoners that like every day, they use it every day. That's fine.
Right.
God bless them, but that's not me.
Got it.
I'm not pro that. I'm not like, oh, maybe you should just start using THC every day.
like they wake up and they smoke a joint when they wake up.
Yeah.
Like, to wake up.
No way. I can't. I don't think that's okay.
Okay.
But I'm not saying don't do it if it makes your life what it is, because I know there are people who do it.
'Cause
Apparently Snoop Dogg smokes I don't know what a freaking ounce like every day or whatever he does. Wiz Khalifa was on Joe Rogan's podcast and he said he smokes like an ounce a day. I mean, God bless you.
Crazy.
Like if you can do that,
Yeah.
like go for it.
There are functional people. I think that's too like just the stigma of like what a stoner is. Because like I said, for there's people like me who grew up a certain way, who still, believe certain, morals and values and whatnot. But like as we learn more about, the plant or the benefits or just whatever, you do have to open your mind to certain things. And I do think there's certain people in certain parts of the country that are still like, no, this is bad and we can't do this. And like,
so sad. I have a bit about that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in Texas, you can't. It's still illegal all the way around. I think. I don't even think they can do medicinal anymore.
Yeah, I think maybe like there's some like sneaky trap shops in like Austin or something. But no, yeah, which is funny because I really want to mail this CBD to my dad, but I think he's gonna freak out. I'll be like, you can't mail this to me. And I'm like, it's a fucking muscle rub.
Yeah, you
Dad.
you can mail anything. I think.
I've mailed edibles.
Yeah, because my brother used to work for a company. He used to mail like weed like everywhere. I don't think you can get in trouble for mail. I don't know what the rules are. I'm sorry, and I don't do it. So
I don't know what happens to people who get caught.
I think you can mail it, and they can't. If you send it through the mail, I think they can't search it without a warrant or something like that. But if you send it through FedEx or UPS, they can search it for some strange reason, something like that, because the post office is government and I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, I use the post office.
So if you live in another state and you want weed, just have someone from California mail it to you. I think that's the rule.
It's gonna be really really expensive.
Yeah.
Don't hit me up unless you're gonna spend a lot of money.
But it's crazy because when I got pulled over in I think you've heard the story, but we got pulled over on our way to New Mexico. And I had a bag of edibles because I was going to be gone for a few days and I needed them to sleep. And before we crossed the state line, we got pulled over, blah, 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 by Border Patrol and the customs. And the guy told me to throw away the edibles because I can't have them in Arizona. And I was about to go to Arizona. I'm like, I'm not throwing these away, dude. But like, so when I went to Arizona before that, I didn't take them because I still have. I think I have a warrant out in Arizona because I got a ticket that I didn't take care of the last time I went to Arizona. So I was like, all right, well, if I get pulled over, I don't want to have something that they could add to the charges. So I didn't take them. But since Ashton was with me, I was like, I don't care. I'll take them. Like, it's fine. But yeah, in Arizona, I don't think it's even recreational. It's legal. It's crazy.
Yeah, I heard some stupid story about a lady getting arrested, older lady too, because she had CBD on her. I'm like, get out of here,
That's
man.
so dumb. It's so beneficial.
It's
like I'm
CBD.
telling you,
CBD is literally like vitamins. Like I get customers call all the time. Oh, how much should I take? And in the back of my head, I'm all, I dare you to take the whole thing. Because I do. I buy some Edipure CBD gummies. I eat the whole bag.
Really?
It's just 100 milligrams. It's CBD.
Yeah. It's just CBD. Yeah.
I probably really need it. And I will say though, I have smoked a couple of CBD pre-rolls, and that actually still gets me a little high.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like I don't know if there's really a way to completely eliminate or separate. I don't know the science behind it, but I do know when I smoke CBD pre-rolls, I still get a little bit of a buzz. So warning, if you truly don't want the psychoactive effect of marijuana, I wouldn't do the CBD pre-rolls. But the CBD vapes, I don't get half of those.
Okay. Yeah, I just do tinctures
Mm-hmm.
and the roll. Like, there's a lot of like roll-ons and ointments and like lotions that I feel like.
I will say the pills though, the THC pills.
Oh, I've had some.
Those will fuck you up.
THC pills.
Yeah,
Who's-
those will fuck.
Who was
you
talking
up.
about that? Maybe it was. I think I listened to that podcast too, and he was talking about it. I think.
Okay.
I don't think I've done it. I've done CBD pills also.
You can do like an 18-to-1 ratio, and those would be cool.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate the knowledge. I'm learning so much more. You know, just like I think I'm at a point now where I just absorb all kinds of knowledge, and I recognize that my body's changing, and I can't continue to just keep doing this. Like I need to continue to incorporate other things into my daily health and wellness regimen, so that I don't feel super sore all the time, but B, just so I can function and continue to maintain the lifestyle that I want. So yeah, I think it's important to educate yourself in everything. You have anything you want to plug before we leave?
I mean,
This will air next week.
next week.
So.
I got shows coming up. Just get KrystleChats.com, KRYSTLE. That's it, really. All my shows are listed on there. That's it. And Budman OC. Yeah, if you're ever in Orange County, hit us up. We have. I'll give you guys a discount code if you want.
Oh, there you go. Look at discount special to the camera adds 10 pounds listeners.
Yeah.
If you're in Orange County.
Well,
Do you guys have a radius?
Just call us up and say, I listened to the camera Ed's 10 pounds, and drop my name and Peter's name, and we'll give you 10% off.
Dude, I will be, if anybody does that, I will be so happy. You'll tell me, but.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
and we'll
that'd
put
be
it in the
so
notes,
cool.
and they'll tell me, just say it. Say Krystle said, and we'll give you a discount. And it has to be because you listen to this podcast.
Now, are you allowed to talk about this really quick before we leave? Because I know you were talking about those edibles that you had that were like, because, when you go to the dispensaries, they have to be compliant. And I think you had some that were not quote unquote compliant.
Yeah, well, there are
So
some
how does that work?
dispensaries that well, see, I'm actually pro like trap shops these days because there's so much like controversy behind all of that white male privilege. How like all
What's
the
a trap shop? I don't know.
trap shops mean they're like not licensed.
Oh, okay.
Because because of all of the new rules and stuff, you're not getting that true fresh California flower that you used to get back in the day. Because
Okay.
now it's gotta, you go through the grower and then distribution, and then they jar it now, and you can't even smell it the way you used to be able to smell it. You can't even go to the weed shops and smell flower anymore. It's
Really?
bullshit. Yeah, you just got it. It's like it's in a little jar. Like it's just
They can't open the jar and have you like smell
no,
the
because it's all
strain?
packaged.
You have
now.
to take their word for it.
It's bullshit.
So
I
all those
hate it.
jars, like all those mason jars or whatever they have, like you can't.
It's not like that anymore.
Really? I guess I never really paid attention.
And if you did go into one of those, that's a trap shop.
Yeah, okay. Because
If you're going in and you see mason jars, that's a trap shop. If you
Okay.
go in and you see like packaged like weed, that's a licensed shop.
interesting. I guess because I never go in for like the actual flower, but that's interesting. How it's
Yeah,
going
you'll
for
you'll
edibles.
notice. Like if you go to these fancy ones like MedMen or Cookies, those
Right.
are all licensed dispensaries or whatever. But anything that
Is Cookies a marijuana? Like, I didn't know that. I thought it was
Yeah.
like a clothing store.
No,
I see everyone with
marijuana.
like Cookies clothing. They have like a big clothing brand now.
I mean,
It's on Melrose, right?
Yeah, just merch. It's just
Yeah,
merch.
I literally thought it was a clothing store. It does not look like
Mm-hmm.
a dispensary at all.
Yeah, well, neither does MedMen. Have you been in MedMen?
Yeah. I go because it's right by my house.
I've been sick.
It's very nice. I've learned that the stuff there is a little bit more expensive to get the same product that you can get like at a dispensary down the street. But it's super it's literally like 4 blocks from my house, so I can walk there.
But that's the same thing. Like I hate it when
Yeah.
the customers call me up and say, "Why are you guys so expensive?" It's the same thing versus going to Nordstrom or Target.
Maybe because hot chicks are bringing weed to your house, dude. Are you complaining about that?
And
dude?
you can actually call us up and speak to us on the phone, and we'll have answers to your questions.
Do you guys have?
Try calling another one of these delivery services.
Do you have like a catalog where like you're like I want I want Kristen to bring me.
No,
You
I
should
wish
do
we
that,
did.
dude.
Yeah.
I would be
Well,
all
my
over.
customers call and ask for me.
Oh,
Like they'll be
of
like, "Are you
course.
gonna be here?" Like, or like, "Are you gonna be if I call back in a few minutes or whatever?" Or like, "Do you work tomorrow, etc." Or can I have somebody call? Because like I'm like, or they'll call and they'll be like, "Oh, my favorite person, Krystle," you know, because I've been working this long and I work such long hours.
That's
that-
dope.
Yeah. So there you go. Call. Camera ads, 10 pounds, 10%
Yeah,
off, baby.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I will say, if you listen to this, and if you're listening to this, then you did listen to this. Do me a favor, rate the podcast, especially like on iTunes. Give me a rating, give me a review. If you want to subscribe, you can add something else. Yeah.
The Healthy Gossip. I also have a podcast on this
Yeah.
network. Duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
You can plug
Okay.
your other podcast. That's on
That's
this
it, The Healthy
Comedy
Gossip.
Pop-Up Network
Yes.
podcast, podcast network. Yeah, so rate it, review it, share it too if you got something out of it. Share it. Go back to other episodes, listen to them, whatever. Also, my comedy album is available on iTunes still. I mean, it will be forever, but it's on iTunes, CD Baby, Amazon Music, Google Play. Download that. If you buy it, it puts money in my pocket, which I like. And I will be at the Ontario Improv when you hear this, July 2nd, with the girl we were talking about, Rachel Wolfson, and my buddy Eric Rivera, and my little brother's going to be there too. So if you guys want to come to that, July 2nd, Ontario Improv, and also July 11th at the Ice House. Is
July
that us?
11th. Yep.
Yeah.
Rachel and I booked a show together too. We're going to do the Mi Corazon in Silver Lake. I don't know what day. It's on my website. Sorry.
June 25th.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Oh, nice.
I pay
Okay.
attention.
Look at that.
So yeah, guys, that's it. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. Like, feel free to send me a DM on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Like, I want to keep bringing. It started off as one thing, this podcast, and as I've done it, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to limit it to just this. Like, I want to open it up to a lot of different things that have helped me, that can maybe help you guys.
It's totally
and yeah.
relevant. Totally relevant.
So thanks for listening, guys. The camera adds 10 pounds, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye. Yeah.